I'm sick. I 100% blame my kids for getting me sick on vacation. Exhibit A. Exhibit B. It's just a head cold. I just don't feel good. Also, I can't stop crying. I think it's also the head cold. It just hit me this morning. I woke up with a sore throat. I started getting like a bit of a stuffy nose and then sinus pressure, and now my eyes won't stop watering and I have like a headache. In another life, if I was to get sick, or just like literally 2 years ago, if I was to get sick, I would just spend the day reading or watching TV. And now that doesn't happen because I have kids. My mom is here today though, so she's helping with them right now while my wife and I get stuff done because we just got back from vacation. But I thought, let's do a little sick day, maybe sick weekend reading vlog, book vlog. Here we go. So my mom is here for the weekend. You might hear her right now singing because she was pet sitting for us. And she brought so many books with her for me to read. So there's this stack. Ooh, this stack. It's a series, I believe. This is the first one. It's the House of Night series. I will say I'm pretty sure that I read at least some of these a long time ago, but my mom was saying that she loves this series and recommended that I read it, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna at some point, not right now, but at some point I'm gonna read that series. I couldn't even tell you what it's about. Let's look. The Magical World of the House of Night. I know this is a fantasy series. I'm pretty sure it's about vampires. Zoe Redbird has been marked as a fledgling vampire and joins the House of Night, a school where she will train to become an adult vampire. That is, if she makes it through the change, and not everyone does. I do, now that I'm looking at this, remember bits and pieces. Also, it's written by a mother-daughter pair. That is so cute. So let me know if any of you have read this series and what you thought of it. I see that this came out in 2007, so I assume that I read these in like middle school and maybe some in high school before I stopped reading fantasy altogether and didn't start again until recently. So we're gonna read this at some point. Also, if you're looking at the back of this, so 2007, the price in America was $8.95. In Canada, it was $9.95. That makes sense with like our dollar discrepancy, sure, but now I just got a box of new books. I just ordered so many. In America, this book cost $35. In Canada, $42. I got it for $8, but still. I just mean it's crazy now how much books cost in Canada. I was just about to vlog and tell you about the book I'm reading. Oh my god, it's chaotic. But then when my kids woke up, so if you hear a baby crying, that's why. I hope he goes back to sleep because he did not nap long enough. It's not what you need when you're sick. Like, you just want to rest. I think that maybe they fell back asleep. So I just finished My Life with the Walter Boys. It started on vacation. It is a Netflix show that I had already seen, and I know that this book was originally a Wattpad book, which was like a self-published. In my head, Wattpad is only for like fan fiction, but I think you can self-publish anything. I liked it, but I will say the TV show is like very true to the book in a lot of ways, so there wasn't any surprises. I knew it was going to happen, and it's one of those rare instances where I think I'll say that the show is better than the book. It was fine. It was a good vacation-y read. I just gave it 3 stars. Basically, if you don't know, there's a girl, her family dies, and she is sent to live in Colorado with a family with 11 boys and 1 daughter. So it's her life with the Walter boys and follows her relationship with each of the boys, whether that be like friendship or romantic relationship, and having to decide between the brothers and that whole thing. It's a good TV show. I would recommend watching the TV show. I was really hopeful that there'd be another book in the series because it felt very unfinished at the end. I think that's what I didn't like about it, is it kind of finished on a bit of a cliffhanger sort of situation. It ends, if you've seen the TV show, where the TV show ends, and I don't know, it just feels like there should be more to it, but there isn't another book. So I think that's why I ended up giving it 3 stars, because I was hoping for some kind of closure if this is the end of the story, you know? But I didn't get any of that. So now I'm gonna read on my e-reader, still feeling like crap. I'm also reading on my e-reader the other book that I was reading on vacation that I hadn't finished, which is What Lies Beyond the Veil, and it's from the Of Flesh and Bone series. It's a fantasy book about fae. Of course it is. I love reading about fairies. I just got book mail right now. My wife went to the box where like all of our PR package things are delivered, and I got an advanced reader copy of, I think it's a whodunit thriller kind of comedy style book. I don't know. So it's called Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintira. It comes out in March. The people that have reviewed it on the back are all authors I really like Stephen King and Alice Feeney and Alex Michaelads. So I'm very excited about this. I don't have a physical book on the go. I want to start one to have like a physical and an ebook on the go. But I also just ordered a ton of books. So I need to do a little unboxing for you because I ordered 8, which was the last thing I needed to do because I have so many books on my physical TBR that I should be trying to read. I mean, I've read most of these, a lot of these. Everything on the top here I need to read, but also some of these piles. Here we go. So I ordered a bunch of books from Book Outlet. I honestly thought maybe it was going to be a scam because these prices were so good. I got 8 books for $62, including tax and shipping. They were doing a sale. I think it was $8 and under fiction. And shockingly, these are almost all hardcovers. Are we ready to see what I got? Because there's quite the selection. Okay, I'll start by showing you my fantasy books. So I got This Woven Kingdom and these Infinite Threads. This is the first and second book in the series. I just know that it's a fantasy romance and the covers kind of drew me in. I know nothing about this series, so let me know down below if it's good or bad. And then I also got Throne of the Fallen. I'm really excited about this because it's a fantasy romance book, but it's only one single book in the series, which is nice because I feel like when it comes to fantasy in particular, you end up reading like these huge multi-book series, and sometimes I think it'd be nice to read just like a one and done, you know? And then this book is actually the reason that I decided to order books at all. It is A Day of Fallen Night. It is the standalone prequel to Priory of the Orange Tree, which is a book that is on my TBR that I've been wanting to read, so I got this. I really love Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. This is just one that I haven't read. It's Carrie Soto is Back. It is about a tennis player. Carrie Soto was like the best, and then someone beats one of her records and she decides to come back for one epic final season. So I'm really excited about that because Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid and also The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo were 2 of my favorite books probably ever. I really liked them both, so I'm really excited about that. But also my wife just bought and finished and read this, like, bad lighting, but it's Maybe in Another Life, also by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I'm really excited to also read this one because I really like her books. So there's that. So far we're at 4 fantasy, 1 kind of like general fiction. Then I went with some thrillers. This is The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. I'm really excited about this one. It might end up being the first one I pick up. 7 hours in the past, 7 days in the present, 7 survivors remaining. Who would you save? So it says a decade ago, 2 vans filled with students, high school seniors, crashed into a Tennessee ravine, killing a bunch of students and teachers. There ended up being 9 survivors, and now they're starting to die, the survivors. I believe one dies by suicide, and then they make a pact that they're all going to kind of survive together, but then something happens and they start dying. So that sounds really good to me, which is weird. That sounded weird. I love death. And then another thriller, so 2 thrillers, The Writing Retreat. It is about a writing retreat where people start dying, of course. And finally, I got She Gets the Girl. It is a lesbian little romance book I think my kids are at, so I have to go. I believe it's YA. I have a number of lesbian romance books on my shelf, and I think I'm going to do a dedicated video of just reading lesbian romances. And I think I have like 4 or 5 books counting this one, so I think that'll be a really fun video in the future. And those are the 8 books I got. Time to go see my kids. I am still not feeling good, so I'm going to take a hot steamy bath to hopefully clear up my airways a bit. I'm going to, I don't know, read, obviously, in the bath. So I started by spraying a ton of this spray because it kind of has like a bit of a eucalyptus scent to it. I know it says it's balsam fir, black spruce, cedar leaf, fennel, and pine, but there's something about it that I think will help clear out my airways a bit. I'm so tanned from vacation. This bath bomb was a Valentine's Day gift. Oh my gosh, I hope it makes a purple bath. I love purple. In general, these are so pretty, these colors. It's like cotton candy. And I have my 2 book options. I'm probably going to just go back and forth between them. Good morning. I was shocked to wake up this morning and realize that I had fallen asleep last night the second I got out of the bath. I came up to bed, laid down right here with my e-reader, read probably 4 pages, and fell asleep at like 8 p.m. I was so tired, and then I slept in this morning until 8 a.m. So I'm feeling still sick, but a little bit better from all the sleep. Thank goodness, because it is going to be such a busy week because we just got back from vacation and there's so much work and so many house things and just so many things in general that need to get done. My only reading goal for the day is to finish this fantasy book that I'm working on. I'm on page 377, 90% of the book done, so I think that I might be able to do it. Let's see. I moved down to the couch and I finished my book, and I am so happy to report that I think it's my first 5-star read in forever. It's definitely a 5-star read. I absolutely loved it. Well, I have a feeling that the next book in the series is going to be really good. There's 3 books out in the series. I don't know how many there's going to be, but the first one was so good. So it was fairies and like fae, but also like some god stuff. Fated mates. She was on the run from, in this book, the fae are like these evil creatures that have been separated from humanity, from humans, to keep the humans safe by this veil that was unable to be passed. And then the veil falls, the fae come looking for their fated mates, and she goes on the run. And it is so good. I absolutely loved it. So I'm very excited to read the next one. So the first one was called What Lies Beyond the Veil, and this one is called What Hunts Inside the Shadows. So I'll probably start that one today. I'm really excited. The first one was so good. When I'm explaining my books and I'm telling people like, oh, I'm reading about fairies, I feel like they think like, ooh, fairies. But really it's like this 6'9" man that could strangle a lion with their bare hands, more muscular than anything you've ever seen, and 2 men wide. Like, that's the fairies in these books. It's not like, ooh, little fairies. It's like fairies. I am going to have some of this coffee oat latte. I don't know. My mother-in-law bought it and we found it in the fridge when we got home from vacation. So I'm going to give it a try. And like, I don't know. I want to do something about like this breathing situation because it's really bugging me. Allie was, when I was just reading, was like, are you over there crying? I wasn't. I just am like so stuffed up. So I want to figure out something to like clear my airways. This thing where fae can't lie must come from mythology somewhere, right? Because you see it again and again and again in these fantasy books that fae can't lie. I'm pretty sure they talk about it in A Court of Thorns and Roses and it turns out to be false. The Cruel Prince, I think the Cruel Prince trilogy, They Can't Lie. Apparently in this one, They Can't Lie. It must be a thing. I'm gonna have to do some research into that because I know nothing about like fantasy, his rules. I don't know. I'm going to think about taking some medicine. Let's see what I have. Off we go again. I was thinking about taking a neocitrin, but I think it would make me tired. I'm gonna get a classic Vicks a try.
Now we're outside. Hear that? I have a friend. You don't feel hairy.
So I found this TikTok and it is called, the account is called Meet Me at the Media Center. It's a lady who's a school librarian and her videos are her repairing books and it is so satisfying to watch. I'm actually obsessed. I find it so soothing and relaxing to watch. So I definitely recommend checking out this TikTok because oh my god, it's just so satisfying. It also made me look up the requirements to becoming a school librarian here because I was like, that sounds like a very fun job. The kids are in bed and everyone else is starting to feel sick. I feel like whenever we're ill, I always get sick first. I don't know why. Also, I would like to say, people that wear their hair up, how do you do it? It hurts so bad, but my hair is like so extremely greasy from vacation. I didn't shower since we got back 2 days ago and it's so like sunscreeny and disgusting. But I also was thinking that I'll take a COVID test. I'm 99% sure I don't have COVID because I had it not that long ago. I have had COVID twice now. Once was in like July 2022 and it wasn't that bad, and then right before Christmas I get a text from my mom saying that she has COVID and that our family will not be able to come for Christmas, and I was so sad. And then I just started to feel a little off on Boxing Day. We hadn't seen my family. These are just two unrelated instances of people getting COVID because you guessed right, I also got COVID. And then we tested the twins. They were acting completely normal, so we were like, they definitely don't, but like, should we test them because we have a ton of rapid tests, and they immediately came back positive. Here we go, a rapid test. Just so we know, right? Just so we know. I feel like by now I am a pro at doing these things because it has been so many years of testing. No matter how many times I do it, it's horrible every time. Oh my god. I'm like crying. Okay, now we swirl and squeeze. Oh my gosh, it's always dreadful. And now we wait for the test to develop, and I have to say that watching a COVID test develop reminds me of watching pregnancy tests develop because me and my wife were like serial testers when we were trying to have our twins, and oh my god, we tested like freaking crazy. The amount of money I probably spent on pregnancy tests and then drove myself absolutely insane trying to see if there was a line and being like, is there a line? Is there? No, maybe there is. Oh, if you hold it in the light. It was bonkers. If you didn't know, we did 3 IUIs, 1 at-home insemination, a round of IVF, and 4 embryo transfers to have the twins. So it was a long, grueling adventure. It's negative, so it's just a cold. So I am in my office, fresh out of the shower. I've actually been at this for like 30 minutes. I'm working on a book proposal, a fun thing that I won't be talking about unless I do start talking about it. So there's that. I'm working on it right now and I still have a bit to do. I want it done by tomorrow evening. So we'll see. I'm not a writer. I've never written a book, but I will say I've always wanted to write a book. And when I was a teenager, Actually, no, this starts way back. When I was a child, I used to take these like scribblers, do-a-tang things, these very specific things. And I used to write Harry Potter fan fiction before I even knew that was a thing. I used to just like write myself into Harry Potter because I loved it so much. And then on Quizilla, which was a quiz platform, it wasn't even for fan fiction, but I found fan fiction on there, and then I started writing Harry Potter fan fiction. I did it for years. So that was the thing that I did. And I've dabbled here and there. I actually used to have a blog, so I guess I wrote a lot then. But yeah, I'm really passionate about it and would like to give it a shot. I'm really excited about some projects in the works. We'll see if anything comes of this. If it doesn't, I'm still gonna write the book for my own sake. But if you follow me really closely on other platforms, you might know what this is about. So it's exciting. Lots of fun things happening, but I really need to get this done. Okay, that was really productive. I got a lot of the brief done. It's not just sending in some samples of my writing like you might think. They actually had sent over like this huge list of questions and all of these things that they needed to know about me, about my wife, about what we'd write about our audiences, about all kinds of things. So I needed to figure all that out and get it down, and I feel like it's been a while since I've written anything, so I'm a little self-conscious about it. So tomorrow I'm going to look at it with fresh eyes and start again. Going to put this in there. We're watching The Bachelor in bed. We are in a bachelor pool, meaning that we like play a little game with our friends or at the start of the season or before the season starts. We all pick.
It's not a game.
It's a game. It's gambling. Actually.
No, there's no prize or anything.
Well, there's supposed to be a prize every
For
time,
fun.
and we've just never actually cashed in.
It's called a draft.
It's a draft. You get 4 people on your team. Well, we did this time, and it's fun. We all watch it every week. We chat in our group chat and stuff. We're behind, so we're catching up right now. Instead of reading, although I hear she did some reading while I was.
No, I didn't.
You were going to, and you didn't like your book.
Yeah, so I didn't read.
No. So that's the end of my sick weekend vlog. I am shocked that I finished 2 books, but that was my goal, was to finish those 2 books that I'd started on vacation. I will say the What Lies Behind the Veil, that book, the reviews are ruthless on it, and I think I disagree with them. I think it's a good book. I gave it 5 stars. I liked it, but it's just like a smutty fae book. What do you expect from it? A lot of people feel like it's copying other popular books, but like it's just popular tropes, I think. So don't let the Goodreads reviews tell you not to read it. If you like fae, fated mates, villain gets the girl, bad boy built like a brick shithouse. She had nothing to say about that. With dark magic, shadow magic, it has all of those things that are so common in fantasy books, but they're common because people like them, and I thought it was a good book, so I'm happy with that. I still feel like shit, so I'm just gonna curl up and watch The Batch and get ready for next week's video, which I'm starting to film tomorrow, which is waking up at 5 a.m. every day for a week to read. Seems very early, so I better go to bed.